All the way I was looking outside, looking at the forest and trying to imagine even a person hiding there or running away. I mean, we're with our coats and inside the bus.
I didn't really expect it to be as gray and cold and rainy like here, as I kind of thought it took on that dimension from the pictures, but it's dark and cold and rainy. And there was a story that I don't remember who was telling it to me, but she was like, we hid in the forest for months in the winter. That's really incredible that somebody could survive something like that in itself.
Despite that you said Warsaw was flattened, I still felt the architecture was still almost like in a time capsule. It seemed very much untouched in an ironic way, which was kind of interesting because you could kind of try and put pieces in your mind and try and visualize how like society might have looked back then. And also like walking to the cemetery in like the most weirdest way, it was almost like an enchanted place. In a comforting sense, it almost felt like these people were at peace.
It really is amazing to have the opportunity to see like my roots and for everyone to see like the roots of the Jewish community or communities, because not necessarily the people are from Warsaw. Like my great-grandfather was from Belgium, like people are from all of these different places, and like rov hasikuim that each person in this room has a connection to someone there, they just don't know it.
He was a chassid. He was very close to the Grodziczka Rebbe, and he was on the way from Holland to go to another country, and he happened to die back here in Warsaw, and hence he is buried here in this very auspicious spot between all of the great tzaddikim and the graves that you see here. We all have like relatives here, don't we? Probably. Right? And maybe we do, maybe a lot of us do. But to be privileged to stand in front of a grave of your great-grandfather?
Also, I think it's very, not interesting, but it's like crazy to see how you have the mass graves next to individual graves. Like each person has their graves, and like in the middle, everyone's just piled on one another. It's a little sad to know that if there is any family, you know, still living today, they don't really know where they're buried, and they can't really visit them.
We went from like grave to grave of the ones that have their own grave with their names, and you can tell a story and all that, and then all of a sudden it was just like, there's no names, we have no idea who's here. Like, it just like immediately hit like the massive change of events.
Like even though we don't know who they are, who are like buried there, we don't know the stories, we don't know nothing, I really think it's like nice and important to remember them and give them kind of the honor.
Doing the ceremony next to the mass grave was really important. Like I felt like at least in our like small word, in our small like way to do this, we give them back the respect that they deserve as human beings.
Softly because of vision softly creeping, left its seats while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain.
In spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart. I simply can't build up my hopes on a foundation consisting of confusion, misery, and death. I see the world gradually being turned into a wilderness. I hear the ever-approaching thunder, which will destroy us too. I can feel the suffering of millions, and yet, if I look up into the heavens, I think that it will all come right, that this cruelty will too end, and that peace and tranquility will return again.
We're standing on the corner of Miadoa Street, leading to a staircase going to the area of Shiroka Square, and we're walking into a different world. We're walking into a very old Jewish world. When we talked about Warsaw being a magnet for people being buried, let's say, in the 19th and 20th century, this would be the site for the 16th and 17th and 18th century.
One of the things that really hit me the whole time, and it's almost like my theme in a way, is anything that has to do with children. I think it started from day one. We went in the Warsaw Cemetery, we've seen the mass grave of starving children. A lot of them were children, and they starved to death. And then, then when we walked through Krakow, and we heard the music playing from one of the windows, that little Hasidic jingle or song.
During the years of 1943 and 1945, many thousands of Jews who were gathered here from Poland and Hungary. We don't know the names of those who were killed, so let's just call them by one word: Jew. Here in this place, the action was taken by the incredibly cruel criminals. The human tongue doesn't really have words to describe them sufficiently and what they did in their crime. So let's just give one word for their unbearable cruelty, and we will call them Nazis.
First, they came for the socialist, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionist, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me.
It was annoying, like saying that there's nothing there to see, to save this place. Like maybe 20 years from now, and people wouldn't know what happened there.
Those people that survived, like the camps and everything, when they went out, they didn't have anyone. I don't know you, but my family wouldn't be there. Like, I wouldn't have a reason to survive. And it's like, for what?
In honor of those who were killed, whose crying, last cry on the blood of this former cemetery in Pleshov, we raise our heads, those who survived this act of fascism, the Jews.
It was a shock to go also through the same gate where then the people in World War II went through. But I think it was a really wonderful, very special experience. Wearing the Israeli flags, wearing a kippah. It showed that Hitler didn't get what he wanted.
How could those people wake up every morning and see that the fence so close, like I felt it was closing on me? What made them keep going? How can you wake up every morning knowing that there's no way out? It was almost a claustrophobic feeling.
I was really scared of the gas chambers. I didn't really want to go in. But then
It was exactly like how I imagined it. I could imagine myself being in there, and also when people were starting to gather inside, I felt very claustrophobic. I wanted to go out. I didn't like it. It was too much.
And I was just amazed because all these mothers just wanted to feed their kids. That's all they could think about when we saw all the pots. All I could think about was my mom and how I have to tell her that I love her, because you don't know what's gonna happen. And so I called her as soon as we left, and the second that I heard her voice, I just broke down and I started crying. And
when we saw these suitcases and everything, one suitcase that was written in German, Waisenkind, number 615, which means in German orphan. I never imagined and looked at it at the point of view of a little child, and then I thought how horrible it must be if you do everything of this by yourself, without your parents or not anyone close to you.
Today, when I saw that pile of hair, that was when I was really in shock. I couldn't even look at it. I had to turn around because it was just I couldn't look at it.
If you were to read every single name off of that, I'm saying to you, how long would it take, literally, to read every single name? It was unbelievable. And if you put it in perspective, you look on one page and it's just completely full. It had to be hundreds and hundreds of names on one page.
There were windows and there were drawings within the walls of the window, and at one point I just stared at the window and I could see this tower where guardians at the time probably were checking up on everything, the whole view, and I was thinking that they would look out the window and see what's going on and see, realize what's happening to them, and just thinking how is this possible? What am I doing here?
When you read what work I did, you will say, how could I, or anyone else, do this work and burn his fellow believers? That's what I said at first too, and thought many times. The people I saw when their destiny was sealed, I told the truth, and after they were all naked, they went farther into the death chamber, where the Germans had laid pipes on the ceilings to make them think they were preparing the bath. The Germans forced them to move closer and closer together. Then the doors were hermetically sealed. After half an hour, we opened the doors of the gas chambers and our work began. We carried the corpses of these innocent women and children to the elevator, which brought them into the room with the ovens. And they put them in there, the furnaces, where they were burned without the use of fuel because of the fat they have.
When we went to Birkenau, I didn't imagine my family was there. We didn't know about this. We discovered the moment I was there. My family, my grandfather always rejected to talk about Holocaust, or my grandmother. So we didn't even thought about asking them.
Today an image became reality. The most known image of the Holocaust, known as Auschwitz, appeared in front of our eyes, not only to remind us of that image we have always seen, but to remind us how real it actually was. The sky above the camp was just gray, like if it was trying to show us how sad it is. Part of it was crying for their sins, for observing the annihilation of humankind and not having the power to stop it. The other part was crying of happiness, for seeing that humankind has not forgotten those innocent lives that ended in this piece of land, and that their own Jewish people had fulfilled their dream of living in the promised land of Israel, and now has come back to honor the memory.
May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others and others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars, climb on every rung. May you stay forever young. Forever young. Forever young. May you stay. Dear children, how you were cut down by a cruel hand. At the last moment, they didn't see the eye of a loving mother. Before the innocent eyes, only the murderers could be seen. May your feet always be swift. May you have a strong foundation when the winds of change shift. May your heart always be joyful. May your song always be sung. May you stay forever young. Forever young. Forever young. May you stay forever young. So you know, every Friday night, every Jewish father and mother makes a blessing to their children. You see, sing Halohim Kefani in Hashem. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Er Adonai panav elecha v'yihuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yisem lecha shalom. All you want as a parent is to see your child live, prosper, survive. In the testimony of the mother of Gisela, she says, what was the last thing that these children saw? It was the murderous Nazis. Spring day, the scent of lilacs. Between the ruins of your town. It'd be a great day to go fishing in the river. But inside me, my heart is broken.
When I will be 20 years old, in a motorized spirit I'll sit, and to the reaches of space I'll rise. I will fly, I will float over rivers and seas, and when extricated from the sun's heat, I will take wing to the Arctic North, and I will veer above the giant Kangaroo Island, and then over the ruins of Pompeii. From there, I will set my sight to the Holy Land, where our covenant was given. I will even reach illustrious Homer's country, and I will be so amazed by the beauty of this world. To the heavens I will take off. The cloud my sister will be. The wind is brother to me.
When we were in Majdanek, when we were walking towards the monument, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what we were about to see, and I might have imagined it. Maybe it didn't actually happen, but like something like landed on my nose, and then I like took it off with my finger, and it was like a little piece of ash. It might not be true. I don't know. And it was like someone telling me like you're here alive 7 years later, and you're like able to walk like as a free person.
Where are you going? Where are you going? Eternity is just ashes and dust. Where are you going? Where are you going? Years and nothing has been erased. Take a coat. It may be cold. You're living in this building, and the brewery that you've lived across the street from all your life has now become a wall sealed up with windows blocking your escape from the area of the ghetto. We have a hard time picturing what it means to be behind walls. Thank God none of us has ever lived in a situation behind walls. As we walk out of this building and we make our way to remains of a ghetto wall that looks like a ghetto wall, like the one that you see in the movies and things like that, picture that it doesn't matter what the particular wall looked like. If you couldn't get through a building, if you couldn't cross a street, you were trapped. And your material ability to get what you needed to survive decreased.
I was walking around the old city in Warsaw, and I was going through my bag, and I found I had put a Golani tag a couple of years ago. Just my lucky Golani tag was the first one I got, and I went to the side of Meal 18, and I put it there at the bunker, and I lit a candle, and I sang a song actually. It's a song called Zoknet Kaimon, which was the partisans' anthem in 1943, inspired by the events of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. And for me, this was really one of the most, truly like one of the most moving moments of my life.
It's historically significant that there are people that we all are able to come here and leave here, which is what, all the people that suffered during the Holocaust, it's exactly what they wanted to do. It's all they wanted to do, to leave this country. And they had no choice. They had no choice.
I never realized how big it was in Poland and how big the community, the Jewish community was here. So I think that's something that I will take with me. What I will do in Israel is just to tell the people what I saw, all the images that I have, and what I felt here.
I've heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you like this. The fourth, the fifth, the minor falls, the major lives, the baffled king composing hallelujah.
יזכור אלוהים את נשמות כל אחינו בני ישראל שהומתו, שנהרגו, שנשחטו, שנשרפו, שנטבעו ושנחנקו על קידוש השם בעבור שבלי נדר אתן צדקה בעד הזכרת נשמותיהם ובשכר זה תהיינה נפשותיהם צרורות בצרור החיים עם נשמותיהם של אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, שרה, רבקה, רחל ולאה, ועם שאר צדיקים וצדקניות שבגן עדן. ונאמר אמן.
I knew it would be cold, but just like being here in the cold, seeing like the night fall like 3:30, 4 p.m. It was like, wow, like people had to survive that, like with barely any food or no food and no proper shelter. And I don't know, it took like a new dimension, like to be here and realize that really.
I'm like so lucky to be alive now when Israel is like thriving. Like why me? It could have easily been me at the time of the Holocaust, and I always like have that in the back of my head.
Before coming here, for sure I knew about the Holocaust. I was absolutely aware that it happened, but as a non-European Jew, I didn't feel very concerned about it. Thanks to this journey, sorry, it is not trip. I realize now that everyone needs to feel concerned about it, no matter from where they come from, sorry, and that actually 6 million is really not just a number.
Over 850,000 people died here. And every single one of them, they lived, they loved, and they had family. However, this place that we are standing here today deprived them of this honor and unfortunate, in this case, luxury for them. Today, everyone, we stand here and we have the privilege to be able to walk out of here and have the honor to live, to love, and to have families.
We have to remember, to never forget, to commemorate, to tell future generations. But at the same time, life continues and life is stronger. And they're not here, but we are there. And Israel is there, and there are future generations.
Savta, my love, I'm here in this place where the worst things has been done, the unbelievable hell. I still can't believe I'm here. All the things you have been telling me for the past years, the stories, testimonies, books, movies, incitement, all of them are in my head now, and I don't let go. When I think about the Holocaust, I think immediately about you, Savtush, about my brave Savta, the strongest, the survival. You are always saying to us that you had your revenge. We are your revenge, the wonderful family you created. And you won. You won, Savtush, you survived. You have experienced the unmoral world, the hate, the twisted minds. You are the most moral person I know. Thank you, Savta, for being my grandma. I thank the world to be your granddaughter. I will love you forever, your oldest granddaughter, Osnat. Not Ossi, Osnat. March 20, 2009, my first trip to Poland. Now, 8 years after I wrote this letter, I want to promise to myself and to you, in front of you, that I will try to make all of the effort I will need to pass my own children the values that you, Savta, have been taught me for the years. The importance of the family, of respect each other, loving each other, loving human beings, and understand that life goes on. And in order to survive this world, you have to be focused on the good side and the goodness in people, especially in your own family and environment. Thank you.
I feel like we're becoming like in 7 days really like a family. You're beautiful people, and this would never be the same without you. So thank you.
והיא שעמדה לאבותינו, והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו, שלא אחד בלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו, עמד עלינו לכלותנו.
This group is kind of amazing, and whenever people had difficult moments, you know, other people came and embraced them and like showed them that they weren't alone in it.
לאבותינו ולנו, שלא אחד בלבד עומד עלינו לכלותנו, עומד עלינו לכלותנו. והקדוש ברוך הוא יצילנו, יציל